Hey guys, thanks for joining me again with Learn to Play Games. We're here at Gen-con 2017. This is day 3. I'm here with Kingdom's Death Master, Adam Poots. So now that you have 1.5 out, can you tell me a little bit about what we're going to expect in that? What kind of changes you've made with the system, and what other things are going to be in that new box?
So 1.5 was just a wonderful opportunity to sort of like smooth over a lot of the bumps that we had in it was technically 1.3.1. It wasn't just one, because we had a lot of stuff that we fixed along the way.
Okay.
One of my favorite things one of the favorite things I had an opportunity to do was the hunt events, which at that point in time of writing them was before we had written any of the expansions. Mm-hmm. So being able to go back through it now that we know a lot more about the world and all the different things interact, it was gratifying to take down a lot of those, some of the hunt events that were just kind of like pure ambiguity and start to piece in, and then even some of them have hints at other stuff that we know is on the horizon that you guys will get little glimpses of.
Okay. And so I know we talked last year with the interview at Gen-con, and we was just about getting ready to launch your new campaign, which you said was going to be kind of small. Obviously, that did not happen. Oh my God, right, so that was incredible.
Back, I'll also add that mechanically speaking, because we play tested the shit out of the game. Like,
yes.
We had a higher team of people who played it nonstop, but that's still not quite the same as the community organically playing. And what we noticed is that people would just kind of go level 1 white line, level 1 white line, level 1 nemesis, fail, get away to the watcher, fail. And that was not the intended way for people to play.
Okay.
So we tried to incentivize hunting higher level monsters more by having them offer more resources.
Okay.
And the Screaming Antelope, which a lot of people just kind of like played once or twice, and for the most part were like, this is not for me, I want to keep hunting this lion. We went in and improved his armor set a little bit and made it a bit more interesting so that people will, hopefully find a viable strategy there in hunting it.
Okay. So going into the future now is obviously to keep the game fresh, and I know that you have tons of new expansions coming out for the monsters and things. Is there a chance that we'll see additional monsters that you can go after early in the game? So like instead of going after the white lion or the screaming antelope, is there a chance that we might see like a couple other monsters that are...
Frog Dog's an early monster.
Okay.
The Honeycomb Weaver is going to have 2 sort of like versions.
Okay, nice.
One of those is an early game monster. It's interesting when you're developing on things, because like as a developer you want to make these really cool, complicated, elaborate stuff all the time. It ends up being like mid-game. But that means that most players won't ever even see them. Yeah. So like there's a definite need for more early monsters. Yeah. Off the top of my head right now, because my brain is fried, I can't remember what else is an early game monster from the current list of promises I've made. Mm-hmm. So besides the ones I mentioned.
Absolutely. So I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to know, where does this stuff come from in your mind? I mean, do you sleep at nights? Or I mean, like, these things are truly terrifying.
During the first Kickstarter, no, I did not sleep. This time around, though, and this is also a huge thanks to the community at large, the campaign was generally stress-free. Everyone was just excited.
Absolutely,
so
it was a great campaign.
Happy that it was going on. So I was able to be a lot more wild and a lot more entertaining as it went on, as opposed to the first time where we were just like constantly answering questions and constantly trying and feeling like not necessarily that we were under attack, but that we had to justify what we were doing. That's what happens. You don't really have a fan base yet, I guess.
Absolutely,
right? So this time around, I got sleep. I made sure. I was like, I'm going to work on this as hard as I can, but I'm going to make sure I sleep, and so I wake up every day with a fresh head and can tackle whatever the expectations were.
So,
but back to the creative question.
Sure.
Yeah, I sleep. In fact, most of the time when I'm working on this stuff, I listen to really saccharine pop music.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It's not like an ironic thing. It's just Kingdom Death to me is it's a game that I built for those like heroic shining moments, and you need to have as much darkness around that as possible to have those. Okay. And like impossible odds and feeling like you're constantly on the edge of defeat is just my preferred style of game in general.
Okay.
So everything's just kind of evolved from that. As far as like the creature designs and stuff, I don't know. I couldn't say. A conglomeration of things I've been fans of, and then a lot of the stuff is natural. Or I think some of the primary like design rules that went into Kingdom Death when I started, which is like I absolutely love undead stuff.
Yeah.
I love liches and necromancers and skeletons and old skeleton warriors and come back from the dead in a cool gold armor. And I wanted to, with Kingdom Death, like take all those things I really, really loved and not touch them.
Okay.
So it's forced me to think about other things, especially things I haven't really seen that often before.
Okay.
Like, I have always been terrified of daddy long legs. I don't think I've seen many or any giant daddy long leg monsters. That's ridiculous. And then, or Spidicles, it's actually, Spidiculous is what I call him, but since I have not the best mastery of grammar and spelling, I spelled it as Spidicules. Yeah. Anyway, and then like the ability of Mosquito too, it's like, mosquitoes suck. I hate them.
Oh yeah.
I hate them.
Oh yeah.
So you start to research about it, a little bit about them. I was like, well, interestingly, like the reason you don't notice them is because they inject you with the painkiller.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, well, you kind of like take a few more weird steps from there. If you had a mosquito monster and its version of injecting you was giving you like a bacteria that when it spread to other people, they lost their ability to facially recognize you.
Oh, wow.
Starts to get like, like start taking weird, sort of sometimes pseudo sci-fi steps, and it makes these interesting concoctions.
Okay. That's very unique. So what kind of inspired you to do this? I mean, like, is there anything that you kind of pulled from or things that really triggered you to go, yeah, I want to make this fantasy horror role-playing game?
So, I mean, when I was a kid, Warhammer Quest was my grail game. Love Warhammer Quest.
Fantastic.
And like that game is so interesting because there's so many people like me who play it, and we all play in a particular way that is not really how the game was intended. The game had its little 4-player mode, and then it had its role-play book that was supposed to have a 5th player running it as a dungeon master. But this sort of like, I don't know if irony is the right word, but this sort of like interesting twist there is that since everyone who got that ran through doing it co-op with no DM first, when they got to the advanced roles, naturally it was just like, oh yeah, we don't need someone to run this. We already know how to do it without having someone there. So you just ignored that section of the rulebook. And the rulebook is written so that everything is optional anyway. But to have this huge, not even huge, I think it was a very small collection of fans for that, otherwise they would have kept carrying it, right?
Yeah.
Who all played the same way. It was really interesting. And then the game itself, if you're playing by the letter of the rules, is so just brutal.
Yeah.
It's like, through the first door, oh, there's a Particulus, we're trapped in here forever, Particulus cave in, done. And like, instead of being like, let's roll that back and say that didn't happen so we can keep playing, and so we just like relished it, just like, bring us to the mercy of the game system, please. And that was definitely like the first step.
First piece of information
towards
okay.
it.
Very cool.
Wanted to make a game, and I wanted to capture that feeling that we had played in our special way. And then the fact that so many other people have enjoyed our creation is just very humbling and amazing. And now co-op games are like almost the norm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, looking now into the future, was there anything that you would do differently, looking back now, if you could talk to yourself before you started this whole quest?
Oh, man. Oh, tons.
And can you believe that you're at this point now that you've made a game that is one of the highest funding games on Kickstarter in the history of Kickstarter?
It is the highest funded.
It is unbelievable, yeah.
We're the 4th
absolutely.
highest Kickstarter.
That is unbelievable.
I think there's Pebble, and Coolest Cooler.
Oh my goodness.
And then Kingdom Death.
Unbelievable.
No, it's surreal. I just try to take it one day at a time. I want to make sure that I remain, dedicated to the work and the initial passion that was there. Trying very hard not to like get a swollen ego or anything from that. Like stuff like this, and for everyone on the floor who's an exhibitor, like any large company, is just a few steps from disaster.
Absolutely.
And like I think that's important to be aware of, but it's more important to just like relax. Just fans. It's time to have fun with it.
Is there anything that you would say to a person that looks at your Kickstarter and goes, I want to do this. He made $8 million. That's he just grow some money. Is there anything you would say to them in that process? I mean, because obviously, as a designer and a Kickstarter, and for those of us that are in the industry and see this stuff, we know there's so much that goes into that between the shipping and everything else that you really don't make a lot of money off of the Kickstarters.
No.
And so they just see that number, they're like,
That's
well,
why
he's a
the
millionaire.
game was $400 instead of $100. It was, we shipped out more than half of the inventory, the print run, to everyone at a tremendous loss. And it was like, well, I guess it has to be this much now. As far as advice goes, like, these are the very basics you hear all the time. It's like, you gotta believe in yourself. When you don't, that's okay. The most important thing is not to give up. Like, and then people say, like, find your fan base, and I think it's true. Like, if you put yourself out there as something you're very passionate about, and not always, of course. Like, I know I'm very lucky that people enjoy what we make.
Yeah.
If you put yourself out there in that raw sense, and fans start to find you, and people who like what you do genuinely start to pick it up, like, that's the healthiest place you can be.
Yeah.
When you're starting on a project, I don't think it's wise to worry about marketing or what niche it's going to fit into or who you're going to sell it to or what distributors you're going to work with. That's all, like, it's not me. Like,
Yeah.
For me, it's like as raw, as powerful, as uninhibited as you possibly can muster.
Absolutely.
And then once you're there, you start thinking, okay, what have I never seen before? What would be a little bit interesting? What's just like a few steps past the expected?
Exactly.
And that's not easy.
No, it definitely is not in this market today, and
No.
you really have created something very unique and very interesting that nobody's seen before, and that's, I think, why you're so successful, and you're going to continue being successful because you have absolutely amazing miniatures.
We'll run out of ideas.
Yeah. So thank you so much
Yeah, my
for
pleasure.
giving me the time to speak with us. And for those of you guys that are watching, also stay tuned to Learn to Play videos. We are going to be doing a full teaching video covering Kingdom Death Monster so that when you guys get the game, you'll be able to watch the video and be able to jump right in and play the game. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you guys later. Thanks again, Adam, so much.